It's possible to change how she sees you, and more importantly, how you see yourself. It all starts with you when you take charge of your own actions, your mindset, and your value. Are you sick of feeling like you're just another option in her life? Someone she only prioritizes or values when it's convenient? It's a frustrating and disheartening feeling, isn't it? This video's 11 game-changing techniques to get her to put you first will change your relationship, but they're not your typical tips. Using the Stoics' timeless wisdom, we'll help you move beyond superficial guidance and pursue something that could change your relationships and perspective. Let's begin with recognizing your worth. Know your value before demanding hers. If you want to be a woman's priority, it all begins with how you see yourself. Knowing your value isn't just a phrase, it's a mindset and a way of life. You can't expect someone to prioritize you if you don't prioritize yourself. Think of it this way: you're building a home that someone would want to move into and stay in, but would you build it on a shaky foundation? Naturally, everything else builds upon the solid foundation of your self-respect. Without it, nothing lasts for very long. Women are drawn to men who are confident in their identity, who know their value, and who won't lower their standards in order to get approval or be selected. When you embrace this mindset, you stop being reactive to how people treat you and instead stand firm, demonstrating through your actions that you know your value is rooted in who you are and not in what you seek from others. One of the foremost Stoic thinkers once said, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor." This principle is a powerful guide in relationships. Avoid tying your worth to the desire for someone else's approval or attention, as this can lead to the loss of your own power. When you carry yourself with purpose and confidence and make decisions out of respect for yourself rather than fear of losing her, you naturally command attention and provide the space for others to appreciate and prioritize you. It's calm strength that is appealing, not arrogance. Because the Stoics teach us to focus on what we can control, remember that being someone's priority isn't about persuading them to pick you. Rather, it's about living in a way that demonstrates that you've already chosen yourself, your behavior, your attitude, and your limits. Give up trying to influence other people's opinions or feelings. Ironically, when you do this and concentrate on improving yourself, the proper people will prioritize you without hesitation. Don't wait for someone to do this for you. Making promises is simple, but maintaining them and fulfilling your commitments is a more challenging task. It's tempting to rely on gestures or flowery language to get someone's attention, but in the end, what matters isn't what you say, it's what you do. Begin by putting yourself first. Build purpose, not promises. If you want to be a woman's first priority and not just an option, words without action are like a ship without a rudder cruising aimlessly. A man who is driven, passionate, and ambitious doesn't need anyone else to define him. He doesn't just draw attention. He commands respect because he is living his life with purpose and isn't waiting for someone else to give him direction. The secret is to focus on your own life first, create something meaningful, and build yourself. Epicurus once said, "First decide who you wish to be, then act accordingly." That's a powerful reminder, isn't it? It's not about making superficial changes or acting like someone you're not. Rather, it's about going deep and deciding the kind of man you want to become. Someone with ambition, someone with integrity, someone who knows what he stands for, and then aligning your actions with that vision. This rare energy attracts women as it distinguishes between those who are merely existing and those who are truly alive. Let's imagine you aspire to launch your own business, acquire a new skill, or achieve the best physical condition of your life. These are commitments to yourself, not just to impress others. When you remain consistent, persevere through the difficult times, and celebrate your victories, you're demonstrating not only self-respect, but also discipline. People notice when you have direction in your life, and yes, she will notice. It's as though you're embarking on a worthwhile journey. Instead of sitting about waiting for someone to come along and save you from boredom, you're already making progress. Here's the problem, though. A woman will want to walk with you if she sees your momentum, focus, and dedication to growth. Your goal is captivating and conveys, "This man knows where he's going, and I want to be part of that story." She will do so through admiration, not duty. Being a priority differs from men who are content to be options, as it entails living a life where your value is self-evident and you possess such confidence in your own path that you don't require anyone else to complete you. It's not about competing for attention or pushing your way into someone's life. Therefore, consider whether your life is worth prioritizing, and if not, what actions can you take right now to make that happen? This is about making progress, not perfection. It's about putting yourself first every day, even when it's difficult. That's the type of stress that elevates you above the status of an option and leaves you unforgettable. What do you think about this? Do you think that promises are less magnetic than purpose? If this resonates with you, please share your ideas in the comments section below. If not, I've chosen purpose over promises in the comments to validate your dedication to personal development. Together, we can start a dialogue about leading a meaningful life. Direction number 3. Listen to understand, not to respond. One of the most underappreciated strategies for a woman to go from being an alternative to becoming a priority in her life is to become proficient in the skill of actually listening. Take time to consider this. When you choose to listen with your full attention and try to understand her thoughts and feelings instead of rushing to offer solutions, you send a powerful message that you value her. Let's break this down. Imagine that she has had a difficult day and is venting about her boss, the deadlines that are piling up, or how overwhelmed she feels. Instead of interrupting her with advice or trying to fix things, she is looking for someone to listen to her and validate her emotions. How often do people genuinely listen without waiting for their turn to speak? It's rare, isn't it? Most of us listen with the intent to respond, not to understand. This approach isn't just about being kind, it's about connection. When she feels comfortable expressing herself around you, knowing that you're not just another person waiting to impose your viewpoint, a deeper connection forms. You pause, look her in the eye, and ask how you can support her. That one act of empathy can make her feel seen, heard, and understood. Things that go far deeper than any quick fix ever could. Listening fosters intimacy, builds trust, which in turn makes you a priority in her life rather than just a person. In times like this, Stoicism teaches us the need for self-control and presence. When you embody this Stoic principle, you demonstrate emotional intelligence and self-control qualities that naturally draw others closer to you. Now, let's flip the perspective for a moment. How many people in her life truly listen? It's likely that the number of people who truly listen to her is quite small. By being the exception and offering your attention and understanding in a world full of distractions, you set yourself apart. Seneca said that we have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen more than we speak. Consider how profound that is. It serves as a reminder to relinquish the need to fill every void and resist the impulse to make immediate corrections. Being her priority isn't about big gestures or dramatic announcements. Rather, it's about the little regular actions that make her feel appreciated and respected. You stop being simply another person and start becoming someone who provides her comfort, assurance, and emotional support. As you make this change, you'll notice how your own relationships grow and thrive as well. In the end, you're not just becoming her priority. You're becoming someone who leads with character, kindness, and emotional strength, a person who is irreplaceable. Number 4. Stand firm. The power of intentional listening is undeniable, but it's not flashy or loud. Remain firm, even in conflict. As with any relationship, conflict is inevitable, but how you handle it will determine whether you become a woman's priority or an alternative. Consider this. When arguments occur, many men either lose their temper or become totally withdrawn. These automatic responses only serve to increase conflict or estrangement. Neither strategy fosters respect or trust. Alternatively, there is a more effective method that calls for poise. Awareness of oneself and emotional intelligence. Imagine having a quarrel with someone you care about profoundly. At that point, the easy way to handle the situation could be to lash out, say something unpleasant, or withdraw into quiet. But as Stoicism teaches, these responses are based on impulses rather than wisdom. The Stoics remind us that, although we have no control over what other people say or do, we do have total control over how we choose to react. People see your character in these difficult situations, not when you react angrily or withdraw entirely. Try to approach the disagreement with composure and clarity. Imagine that instead of defending yourself or becoming irate, your partner accuses you of ignoring their needs. Breathe. Halt and listen, not to answer, but to fully comprehend her viewpoint and acknowledge her emotions. It wasn't my intention to make you feel this way, but I want us to work through it together. This method doesn't imply repressing your feelings. Rather, it means managing them so they don't control you. I hear what you're saying, and I understand why you might feel that way. Then express yourself with the same respect. A woman admires a man who can stand firm with his values while expressing himself with respect and patience. Your ability to navigate conflict without resorting to drama demonstrates maturity and emotional strength. It tells her that you're a partner she can rely on no matter how turbulent the waters may become. Picture this in her eyes. You're the calm in the storm, the steady hand. When things feel chaotic, that steadiness earns her trust and admiration because it shows you're not swayed by momentary emotions. You're focused on solutions, on preserving the relationship, and on ensuring both of you feel heard and expected. Remember, your calmness is your strength. It's what separates someone who is merely an option from someone who becomes irreplaceable. The next time an argument arises, take it as an opportunity to show her who you are. Be the man who doesn't just react, but thoughtfully addresses the situation. When you master this, you won't just be in her life. You'll be a priority in her heart. What about you? How do you typically handle conflict in your relationships? Have you ever tried approaching disagreements with the calm and composed mindset of a Stoic? Share your thoughts in the comments below, or simply type, "My strength is calmness." If this speaks to you, your viewpoint may encourage others who are trying to develop their emotional intelligence and forge closer bonds. Let's continue the discussion at number 5. Appear regularly, but not be present often, not conveniently. It's not ostentatious. It rarely attracts attention immediately and isn't loud, but that's the point. The thing that separates you from being an option and elevates you to a priority in her life is consistency, the unseen power that gradually fosters trust, respect, and value. Grand romantic gestures are nice. They make for good stories. And sure, they might make someone fall in love with you right away. But you know what's more powerful is demonstrating day after day, moment after moment, in both big and small ways, that you're trustworthy, steady, and genuinely invested in her no matter what. Building trust is like opening a savings account. Every time you follow through on a promise, show up when you say you will, or offer support without being asked, you're making a deposit. It's not always glamorous or even noticeable right away, but over time, those consistent deposits become something solid, something unshakable. And when she looks at that symbolic account of trust you've built with her, she'll know she can rely on you, and that's what makes you a priority. Epicus, the Stoic philosopher, once advised us to persist and resist the urge to take shortcuts, act only when it's convenient, or to do things just to impress her. This means that you should continue to be the person you claim you are, reliable, honest, and consistent. Real consistency isn't about convenience, rather, it's about character. Imagine this. She's had a difficult day, and instead of just texting her a generic, "I hope you're okay," you take the time to listen to her in order to be present and sympathetic. Perhaps this isn't the first time she's had a difficult day this month, but you never grow weary of supporting her. Or perhaps it's something as simple as remembering her favorite coffee order and surprising her with it on a random morning, not because it's a special occasion, but because you know it will make her smile. Consistency means doing these things repeatedly, not just once or twice, because that's who you are. It's about demonstrating that your words and deeds match. To gain her approval or affection isn't necessary, but Stoicism teaches us to focus on our integrity and what we can control. This applies to both your behavior and your consistency. Don't just strive for the spotlight. By living this way, you inherently draw people who value your presence and treat you appropriately, even if they don't reciprocate. She will eventually discern the difference between someone who is only present when it's convenient and someone who truly cares for her, and I assure you that she will choose the latter without dominating. Working quietly in the background when no one is looking and there is no immediate reward makes you a priority by showing up day after day and proving you can be counted on. Partnership and direction are more important than acting as a tyrant who makes all the decisions. It's about being a consistent presence that listens, values her opinions, and navigates life with her as a team. You see, women prefer leaders who lead with fairness, kindness, and respect. For example, if you're choosing where to eat dinner, don't just shrug and say, "I don't care," but rather take the initiative and ask her what she thinks. You mentioned that a small act of being decisive while soliciting her opinion shows that you value her voice and that you're confident enough to lead without being controlling. Let's add a little Stoicism here, as it can teach us a lot about what outstanding leadership truly means. Stoics believe that a great leader is someone who remains composed under pressure. Imagine how powerful it is to bring that energy into your relationship when she's having a bad day. Instead of reacting emotionally or trying to fix everything, you stay calm and supportive. Listen to her, show empathy, and let her know you're there for her. This kind of calmness creates a safe emotional space where she feels she can rely on you no matter what. Consider the enhanced strength of your connection when she perceives that you value her opinions, respect her feelings, and support her dreams. When you embody these qualities, you demonstrate to her that she is a priority in your life and not just someone you spend time with when it's convenient. Being her priority means being someone she looks to, not just for decisions, but for direction. If you've reached this point, it demonstrates your genuine commitment to growing as a leader in your relationship. That kind of deliberate effort is exactly what creates a connection through drive. Partnership and trust are about setting a tone in the relationship that says, "I'm here to build something meaningful with you." That's the kind of leadership that makes her feel not just loved, but deeply valued, and when she feels that way, trust me, you'll never be just an option to her. You'll be someone she treasures. Now, I'd love to hear your thoughts. If this resonated with you, please provide an example of your leadership in your own relationships in the comments section below. Your viewpoint may encourage someone else to take the next step in their own relationship. Real leadership is partnership. The seventh journey. Think about a fantastic narrative. What if the first chapter revealed every plot twist? This probably doesn't apply to relationships. Stay enigmatic, but transparent. Leave just enough space for curiosity while sharing your ideas, ambitions, and dreams. It's not about concealing information or manipulating her. Instead, it's about allowing her to discover you progressively, layer by layer. Imagine meeting someone who immediately unloads their entire life story on you. It can feel overwhelming, even draining. But when you meet someone who shares meaningful pieces of themselves, gradually it feels more natural, more engaging. You start to appreciate the journey of getting to know them. That's the dynamic you want to create. Not because you're trying to control the pace of the relationship, but because genuine connections take time. The Stoics offer some timeless wisdom. Here they taught us to speak only what is necessary, to weigh our words carefully before sharing them. This doesn't mean you should hold back your true self. It's about being intentional in how you communicate by balancing openness with a sense of restraint. You're not only showing confidence, but also signaling that you value meaningful conversations over empty chatter. For example, instead of revealing every detail about a big goal you're working toward, share just enough to give her a glimpse of your ambition. At the moment, I'm working on something dear to me. It's challenging, but I'm eager to see where it goes. It gives her the freedom to be curious, ask questions, and remain involved. It's an invitation for her to lean in and want to learn more and be a part of your blossoming. Narrative. By doing this, you produce a sense of curiosity that inevitably increases her interest in you. The point is to create a vibrant and dynamic relationship so she'll appreciate that there's always more to learn about you. The more she discovers, the more she cherishes the process of learning about you. Relationships are about developing trust and interest over time, not about trying to impress someone with everything you have up front. Marcus Aurelius once stated, "What obstructs the path becomes the path." Focusing on developing depth rather than revealing everything at once naturally sets you apart. You're not just an option in her life, you're the person she wants to prioritize, and that occurs when she feels that knowing you is not just intriguing but irresistible. Number 8. Invest in her growth, not just her happiness. It's simple to concentrate on superficial things, like making her laugh or doing kind things to cheer her up right away. Those actions are endearing, but they don't lay a foundation. A genuine connection arises when you truly care about her personal development. This goes beyond simply stating that you support her. It entails actively motivating her to pursue her goals, supporting her through difficult times, and acknowledging and applauding her accomplishments, no matter how small. When she feels like you're on her side, not only during joyful times, but also during difficult times, you stop being an option and start being her. Rock's Stoic companion is aware that love isn't about dominance and that it's most definitely not about stealing someone else's sparkle. According to Marcus Aurelius, the quality of your ideas determines how enjoyable your life will be. Therefore, what kind of thoughts are you putting into her head? Are you encouraging her and reminding her of her abilities and potential, or are you making her doubt herself? Empowering the other person to be their best selves while being rooted in your own purpose and beliefs is the goal of a Stoic approach to love. For example, if she is anxious about a big presentation at work, you could simply tell her that you'll be fine and move on. But what if you asked her about her ideas and helped her practice, or reminded her of previous occasions when she aced it under pressure? That kind of support goes beyond the surface. It shows her that you see her potential and that you believe in her even when she is unsure of herself. It's those moments of genuine investment in her development that make you stand out as a partner. Love flourishes when both parties feel supported in their individual journeys. When she realizes that you're not attempting to mold her into the person you think she should be or change her, but rather to help her become the best version of herself. It's not about getting reliant on one another. Rather, it's about supporting one another. How do you become her top priority? She will recognize that you are unique and that you are there for the long-term vision, growth, and hard work, in addition to the good moments. You accomplish this by being there for her on a regular basis, being considerate of her needs and goals, and modeling the kind of steady strength that Stoicism teaches. When you do that, you won't just be someone she turns to when it's convenient, you'll be the person she can't imagine her life without. What do you think about this strategy for developing a deeper connection in a relationship? Have you had instances where supporting someone's development improved your bond? Or perhaps you've been the one receiving that kind of support. If you're struggling to express your thoughts, simply type "growth over convenience" to demonstrate your agreement with this concept. Your advice might help someone else on their journey. Number 9. Value time together, not just attention. This isn't about ostentatious gestures, continuous attention, or trying to impress her with things that aren't really important at their core. It's about presence. Women want the kind of presence that makes them feel seen, valued, and cherished. Imagine that you're sitting across from her at dinner. Perhaps it's her favorite place, or perhaps it's just a simple meal at home. What do you think matters more to her, the elegant setting, or the fact that you're genuinely listening to her talk about her day, her dreams, or even her worries? It's the latter every single time. When a woman feels like the moments you share are meaningful, that's when she starts seeing you as someone important, not just someone who happens to be around. Isn't Seneca right that time is the most precious resource we have, but it's so easy to waste? When you spend time with her, are you fully present or distracted? If you want to prioritize her, don't let distractions like your phone work or your own thoughts pull you away. Show her that your time with her isn't something you take lightly. Treat those moments as sacred. Be intentional about how you spend them. Suppose it's been a busy week for both of you. Instead of just squeezing her into your schedule like an afterthought, you set aside an evening for her, and during that time, you're fully present. You ask her about her week. You laugh about the little things, and you share what's been on your mind. Even a simple walk in the park can become something special when your attention is completely on her. That kind of presence leaves an impression. It makes her feel like she matters, like she's not just an option in your life, but someone worth making space for. Now let's address an important balance. Setting a woman as your top priority doesn't mean losing yourself in the process. This is where Stoicism can help. One of the main tenets of Stoicism is to concentrate on what you can control and not let outside distractions influence you while you're with her. At the same time, when you're apart, keep your attention on your own development and goals. A woman wants a man who has his own direction in life, not just someone who is always available. When she sees you taking care of yourself, pursuing your goals, and maintaining your sense of purpose, it makes your time together even more valuable. Over time, this creates a dynamic that's impossible to ignore. She won't just feel like someone you happen to spend time with. She'll feel like someone you prioritize, someone who matters deeply to you, and in return, she'll see you as someone worth prioritizing in her own life. That's the foundation for a relationship that goes beyond the surface. It's about creating something genuine, something based on mutual respect and genuine connection. It all begins with the simple yet powerful act of demonstrating to her that your time with her is never wasted. It's cherished. Number 10. Keep your peace while providing. Protect your peace while offering stability. Stability. You can't offer stability to someone else if your own life feels like it's spinning out of control. Think about it. How can you be a steady, grounding presence for her when your emotions are all over the place, or when your mental well-being is constantly neglected? You need to protect your peace first, and that starts with taking responsibility for how you manage your emotions, your mindset, and the way you approach life. Imagine a ship in the middle of a storm. If the captain is panicking, making impulsive decisions and losing focus, the entire ship is at risk of sinking. But if the captain stays calm, assesses the situation, and steers with intention, the crew can trust him to get them through the storm safely. That's who you need to be. Not just for her, but for yourself. When you're grounded and composed, you become the kind of man she can rely on. Not someone who gets swept up in every little challenge, but someone who knows how to navigate through them. This does not imply that you must be dispassionate. Stoicism teaches us that while emotions are normal, they don't have to rule us. When you take the time to think things through, remain composed under pressure, and establish a solid foundation for your own life, you exude a sense of stability that people can't help but notice. Women in particular are drawn to this kind of strength, not the kind that intimidates or overpowers, but the quiet, unwavering strength that makes them feel safe. Imagine a man who is always running late, forgetting plans, and acting impulsively whenever something doesn't go his way. Even if he means well, his chaos casts doubts in her mind. Compare that to someone who fulfills his responsibilities, keeps his word, and knows how to deal with setbacks with poise. The difference lies in the second man's demonstration of reliability, not just his words. Because he already puts himself and his life first, she will see him as someone worth spending her time and energy on. The first step in making him her priority is to take care of your mental health by making time for introspection and personal development. Whether that means journaling, practicing meditation, exercising, or just removing yourself from toxic situations, these actions will help you develop inner strength. When you're steady, you naturally become the kind of man she feels secure with, someone she wants to build a future with, not someone she is unsure about. Remember that progress is more important than perfection. You don't need all the answers, but you must be deliberate about becoming your best self. When you exhibit consistency, you don't simply stand out. You give her the impression that she has found something she doesn't want to lose, which is how you go from being an option to her top priority. This is why stability is appealing. 11th, be a rock for her, not a shadow. If you want to be her first choice, be her rock, not her shadow. Relationships can be compared to storms and sunny days. Anyone can be present when the sun is shining and life is easy, but what happens when the clouds roll in, the winds pick up, and things become messy? To truly stand out, you must be her rock during those times, the lighthouse she can look to for stability, even when it feels like the world is collapsing around her. Being her priority isn't about making grand declarations or promises. It's about consistently demonstrating to her that you are trustworthy and steady. A Stoic man has a profound understanding of this. He knows that words are meaningless without actions to support them. The Stoics teach us to concentrate on our integrity and what we can manage. When you live by these principles, you'll naturally set yourself apart from other people in her life and become the person she turns to when things get tough. For instance, consider the ordinary moments that foster connection and trust, like when she's having a bad day, her boss is being unreasonable, she's stressed, and nothing seems to be going right. When you want to be her priority, you go deeper than most people would. You sit with her, listen to her without passing judgment, and let her vent. You don't rush to solve her problems or make it about you. Instead, you show her that she's safe with you. What will set you apart is your consistency and ability to show up fully in the little moments. Living with purpose is also crucial. A man who is aware of his identity and principles becomes inherently charismatic. When you have a purpose in life, you're not just trying to win her approval or impress her. Rather, you're creating a life that she will want to be a part of, and creating a dynamic where she sees you as a partner worth prioritizing because you prioritize yourself, not in a selfish way, but in a way that reflects self-respect and discipline. Let's return to Stoicism. Women are drawn to men who are rooted in their values and who have a clear direction in life. The Stoic concept of amor fati, or loving one's fate, serves as a reminder to accept life in all its aspects, both good and bad. When you view obstacles as chances to improve, rather than as excuses to retreat, you demonstrate to her that you're not scared to take on life head-on, that you're there for everything, not just the good times, and that your level of dependability is uncommon. It's what makes you more than just an option, but the obvious choice. Being her priority means more than just being present when it's convenient. It means being present when it's inconvenient too, when you're tired, when you've had a long day, when it would be easier to pull away. It means showing her that you're invested, not because you're obligated to be, but because you genuinely care. Don't fade into the background. Like so many others, be her source of strength and security, the person she knows she can count on no matter what. When you live this way, when you embody consistency, reliability and purpose, she won't just see you as someone in her life, she'll see you as the person in her life. And when you reach that point, you won't have to wonder whether you're her priority. As we conclude, your priority will become evident. Let's take a moment to reflect on the conclusion lessons we've uncovered. If you've ever felt like just another option in someone's life, you now know that the shift begins within. By prioritizing your own growth, embodying calm strength, and showing up consistently, you naturally. It's not about persuading someone to choose you. Rather, it's about living in a way that makes being with you a choice they can't ignore. Whether that's through listening intently, leading with quiet confidence, or creating a meaningful life for yourself, these actions set you apart and create lasting connections. I'd love to hear from you. Which of these strategies resonated the most with you? I read all of them and your insights. Elevate yourself in any relationship. The wisdom of the Stoics reminds us to focus on what's within our control, our mindset, actions, and boundaries. Please support our community by endorsing this video if you find it beneficial. It truly helps share these concepts. If you haven't already, remember to subscribe so you don't miss any of the insightful content we offer here. If you believe someone else might find this message helpful, share it with them. They could need it more than you think. Before you leave, watch the suggested videos on the screen. They will delve deeper into the practice of developing deep relationships and changing your perspective. I appreciate you watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Stay focused and grounded, and continue creating the life you deserve.